everyone, Joshua Myers here, and today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. Now, I've kind of done this in the past before. If you go over to my main channel, Blood Moon Productions, I did review quite a few of these types of movies, but not in this style and that, Okay, so what I'm basically doing here is I'm going to be reviewing during the whole month of December nothing but Disney movies. Because, well, why the hell not? I mean, seriously, why the hell not? I love Disney. Even as an adult, it's been there with me, especially through tough times, especially recently. For most of us, especially for me, and I'm sure for a lot of you guys, Disney was one of the first things that we were introduced to in regards to cinema. And I thought it'd only be natural with my new channel being Blood Moon Talks Cinema that the topic we discussed for December is the films that we were introduced to when we're probably first born, probably. I know that was the case for me. For me, actually, after I was born, the first movie I was ever introduced to as a kid, as a newborn, was the original Mulan by Disney. So yeah, Disney was my introduction to cinema. And I'm sure it was the case for a lot of other people, especially a lot of my viewers up here. Even though I reviewed a lot of these movies, and I do tend on re-reviewing them for this channel because my thoughts could change. Plus, I've seen more movies now, but there's still a lot of Disney movies that I've yet to cover, actually. And on it too, Disney has been growing immensely, actually, buying out different properties and other studios. I know they now own Star Wars, Marvel, they also own 20th Century Fox now. Honestly, at this point, I have no idea what they don't own. To be quite honest with you, they're just gigantic now. Again, I did talk about a lot of these films over on my main channel, which they're still on there, so if you guys want to see my initial thoughts on a lot of these movies, especially the ones I have reviewed, you could go over onto my channel, Blood Moon Productions, and check them out. I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff that I have yet to talk about with Disney, doing certain movies I have yet to watch and stuff like that to discuss. I'm even going to be doing TV shows, because I've started to watch a few, one of which being Gravity Falls, which I've never seen. I watched only the first episode of. I'll probably try to finish watching the show so that I could give you my full thoughts, and I've started to watch other stuff like WandaVision, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, the list goes on, and there's just a lot of Disney to discuss over this month. And yes, before you guys go in the comment section, yes, I am totally ripping off Doug Walker's Disneycember, which, to be fair, Doug Walker admitted in his very first video for Disneycember that he was ripping off James Rolfe's, or is it James Wolfe's? Whatever, his Cinemassacre's Monster Madness videos. So, I guess it came full circle in that regard. I just thought that was a cool idea, and I do like Disney, and I already do throughout the month of October, where on my second channel, Blood Moon Talks Horror, just discussing horror films, and at that channel I discuss horror films and that, so I don't really need to do something like that. But Disney is one topic I thought I could discuss, actually. Especially on my new channel during December. I have no idea which films or TVs I'm going to necessarily discuss about, but if I do, you will see it on my channel during the month of December. And if this goes well, I may do a lot more of these, actually. So sit back, relax, and enjoy nothing but Disney throughout the month of December. Today, the first movie of this month I'm going to be looking into is Doctor Strange, released by Marvel Studios, that came out in 2016. Now, I will say this, before going into seeing this movie, because I just recently watched it for the first time, and I got to watch it in the IMAX Enhanced feature that's on Disney+, so I'll discuss about that in this review. But I've never seen Doctor Strange. In fact, Doctor Strange was yet another Marvel character in Marvel Universe that I had very little idea on. Yeah, I've seen Doctor Strange in movies before. I watched Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame, and I did thought he was kind of cool. And I like Benedict Cumberbatch in the role, so I never saw his first solo movie. So recently I rectified that and watched Doctor Strange on my 4K TV with the IMAX Enhanced feature on Disney+. So okay, let's get to the story. A world-famous neurosurgeon, Dr. Stephen Strange, portrayed by Benedict Cumberbatch, seeking a cure, finds powerful magic in a mysterious place known as Kamacha, I think that's how you pronounce it. The front line of a battle against unseen dark forces bent on destroying our reality. Like I said, I've never seen Doctor Strange before. I've never seen his first solo movie. I've seen him in Avengers Infinity War, so I clicked play on Doctor Strange over on Disney Plus, and it was actually pretty good. I actually really did like Doctor Strange. And I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I did, actually. Considering, again, this is a character and world that I have zero knowledge of, actually. I never read any of the Doctor Strange comics or anything like that. The only other time I've seen the character was in the Spider-Man, the animated series from the 90s, and I could barely remember him, actually, so... But I'm not even sure if I even seen those episodes. I'm very new to this character and his world, and, you know, I gotta say, I love the creativity of his world, and just with, you know, I loved a lot of these characters. I loved Doctor Strange, you know. He had a lot of charisma about him, although he was kind of arrogant in that, but this movie's meant to kind of have him change his ways and everything like that, and the way they handled that was pretty good, and I liked all the other characters too, even though I couldn't remember a lot of them. I liked his romantic interests, and I liked Wong. I liked Wong, actually. He was pretty funny. You know, I liked the Ancient One. You know, I liked her. I thought she was a pretty good character in that. Just a lot of these characters I really loved, actually. I even liked Baron Mordo, which, as far as I know, like, because I didn't know who this character, this actor was going to portray in the film. I didn't know if he was going to be a straight-up hero throughout most of the film or anything like that. But then it kind of did some things with his character that I'm like, is he going to turn bad? You know, is he going to become a villain in a later Doctor Strange movie or something like that? And then there was an after-credits scene which basically indicated, yes, he is now going to be probably the next villain of the Doctor Strange MCU movies. And I'm like, okay. And then I saw the name on, because I'm looking on Voodoo, I see his name, like the character's name, Baron Mordo, and I've heard that before, and from what I remember, because that character was in the Spider-Man the Animated Series, and he was a villain, actually. And he pledges allegiance to Dormammu, which Dormammu is in this movie as well. Baron Mordo was not a villain in this one. I think they're saving him to be a villain in the next Doctor Strange movie, which probably, I know, is going to be directed by Sam Raimi, and it's going to have a lot more horror directions in that. And I think the title is Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, which I'm really excited for. Now, looking back on that, I thought that was kind of interesting. It's like, we're going to get Baron Mordo in as a villain in probably Doctor Strange 2. So I'm kind of really excited to see where they're going to go with that. And yeah, also too, I did had one issue with Doctor Strange, and it was something that kind of bugged me, and that was the villain, played by Mads Mikkelsen. Which, here's the thing, Mads Mikkelsen, he's a good actor, and I thought he was he portrayed the role pretty well in regards to his performance, but honestly, the character that he was playing, not really that interesting. I mean, they tried to make him more three-dimensional in that, but honestly, he just ended up being a stock superhero villain. And honestly, I can't remember his name, even though I'm seeing his name right now. I don't remember how to pronounce it. But even before then, I didn't remember his name. And this was shortly after watching the film. I definitely did not remember his motivations, like why he's doing the things he's doing, or, you know, why he's working with Dormammu. So that's honestly my real only issue with Doctor Strange, is the villain. And again, even though Mads Mikkelsen was putting in a good performance, actually, I could actually see him being a legit good MCU villain with his performance, and that is just the character he had to portray and how they wrote his character and then directed the character it was just so bland, so forgettable. I mean, I would remember Thanos more, Killmonger. I would remember all those villains more than, well, Mads Mikkelsen in this movie. Hell, I think probably given 2 years or so down the line, or whenever Doctor Strange 2 comes out, if they don't mention this character at all, I probably will forget that this character was even a thing in the first Doctor Strange movie. I will. He was just that bland and forgettable. But honestly, that's my only real negative with Doctor Strange. I really enjoyed the film. I love these characters. I love this world. I cannot wait to see what they do with more of these characters and this world, especially with Sam Raimi behind the wheel, actually. And I'm really excited to see with the whole horror approach they're going to take with it. And also, too, after seeing this movie, I'm really even more excited to see Spider-Man No Way Home. Honestly, at this point, they could have just gave us a Spider-Man movie where Spider-Man teams up with Doctor Strange and that's it, and you would have had me sold at this point. So yeah, I'm really excited to see what they do more with this character within the MCU. And honestly, Doctor Strange, you could say, is definitely up there with one of my favorite MCU movies. Now, if I were to give this movie a rating, which honestly, I decided to do this in a different format in that, and if you've seen the intro, you know why. But if I were to give this movie a rating, it would probably have to be a 4.5 out of 5 stars. And the only reason it didn't make the 5-star count is because the villain. If it wasn't for the villain, if the villain was great, this would be a 5 out of 5 movie. But because of the fact that the villain was kind of weak and underdeveloped in that, and you know, I just didn't care enough about the villain at all, or even saw him as a legitimate threat. That's why I gave the film this rating. But overall, it's still a really fun, really creative, and imaginative, I know those are the same words, but MCU movie, actually. And I was not expecting that, considering, again, this is a character in world I had zero knowledge of. Again, the only times I've seen this character was in Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame, and I guess partially in the Spider-Man the Animated Series from the 90s, but that's about it. So, and now I guess you could call me a Doctor Strange fan, actually. I'm just gushing over this film. Oh, and before I go, let me talk about the IMAX Enhanced version of the film, because that's the version we watched it on the 4K TV, and I had zero idea what to expect with it, considering I haven't heard too much about this yet. And man, if you have a good enough TV, check it out on IMAX Enhanced, because it was an incredible experience, actually. And I watched it with my brother, who never seen a 4K movie, so this was not only his first time experiencing 4K, but his first time experiencing the IMAX Enhanced feature on Disney+. And yeah, it is fantastic. He was blown away by it too. Like, he's definitely now, I've turned him over to the 4K side. Just like me, honestly, 4K is the way to go in regards to consuming entertainment, not just with movies, TV, but also TV and video games. I remember I was playing Spider-Man PS4 on the TV in the man cave, and man, I mean, the game already looked great on my standard 1080p, but on 4K with Ultra HD and HDR and the cinema sound mode on the TV, man, it went from being an amazing game to a spectacular game, actually. But I'll talk about that eventually down the line on this new channel. I'll talk about that video game at some point, but overall, I had a great experience with Doctor Strange, and I can't wait to see what they do with this character later down the line in this world. And yeah, so that's it for this series. Well, that's it for the first episode of this series. I wonder what you guys think of this idea, because I really wanted to do this, because again, like I said in the intro, I was inspired by Doug Walker's Disneycember, where I go in and basically during the month of December, I go in and review a Disney movie as much as I can by the 25th or throughout the entire month of December. Because, you know, I love Disney. I do love Disney. You know, in fact, it was one of the first things I was introduced to as a kid. In fact, I remember the first movie I went to see in the theater at all, and it was after I was born, was Mulan, the original Mulan. And yeah, so the first thing I was introduced to was Disney, and Disney played a big part in why I love movies and why I wanted to pursue this career, this field, this career choice, which is filmmaking. So yeah, and there's a lot of Disney movies I have not seen yet, plus, so be kind of interesting to see what I think of these movies and that, or even revisit certain movies and see how my thoughts hold up. So yeah, and I really do thank you guys for watching this video and supporting my channel. I'll see you next time.